Trump and Tucker take the stage, storming the UFC. Of course, Madison Square Garden, this is the scene. Trump is there, Kid Rock to his right, Dana White to his left, Tucker Carlson right behind him, Don Jr. right behind him. Scene's pretty wild. I've got a couple clips queued up here for us, and you're going to see a lot of attention. They meet with Rogan. Some people were not all that happy about Trump being there. In fact, we have Trump's nemesis here. Bill Burr's wife gives him the old FU symbol, and so we'll go through the various clips. Not everybody happy to see the former president, but this is what it looked like when Trump made his way in. Crowd goes wild, man. Crowd goes wild. Yeah, there he is. With everybody, man. All right. Everybody's very happy to see him. We got a couple other angles. They went over and said, "What's up?" to Joe Rogan. Here's another scene.
Taking his octagon side seat for UFC 295. We got two title fights coming up at UFC 295 here in a matter of moments, live from Madison Square Garden. And President Trump will be here to witness all of it. Four of the very best fighters in the world.
There's Tucker right there.
And light heavyweight
Funny.
and interim heavyweight gold, respectively.
There's Tucker. There's Don Jr. There's Dana White. There's Kid Rock.
But as you know, best is yet to
Trump's
come.
right there,
Main
shaking
card,
hands.
UFC 295, live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view from Madison Square Garden.
All right, looks like a cool scene. And then we also had this photograph, right? This is what they took. Looks like a nice photo. 5 gentlemen out there enjoying fight night. But Trump was hanging with Tucker, and the hang with Tucker comes after this segment where he was on this show, and he says that, you know, I like Tucker a lot, Trump said. I guess I would consider him as a vice president. I mean, he's got great common sense. Here's what Trump said about him.
Would you consider Tucker Carlson on your VP list?
Oh,
I
wow.
want to give you a hypothetical here. You're a big sports fan. You know, like Nick Saban's going to retire at some point. And if you talk to the athletic director at Alabama, he would say he has a list. So would Tucker Carlson be on your list of potential VPs? And how many names might be on that list as you sit and look and survey the political field?
Well, first of all, you know, I did my first, you could call it counter-programming, but I won't call it that. But Tucker wanted to do an interview during the first debate. And I think you know, because this is what your business is, we broke every record.
Monster audience.
In history, yeah. I think it just hit over 300 million people, but it was for that evening over 207 million. It then got to 275 within a day or two. And the biggest ever was Oprah's interview with Michael Jackson, which was 125 million. So we almost doubled it. Now, who would have thought that was going to happen? The debate, the last debate they had the lowest audience in the history of presidential debates. I don't know if you know it. And I think the one tonight is not, it's on tonight. And
Yeah.
I don't even talk about it.
Would you consider Tucker, though, that they based on those
I
numbers?
like Tucker a lot. I guess I would. I think I'd say I would.
All right.
Because he's got great common sense. You know,
It's true.
when they say that you guys are conservative or I'm conservative, it's not that we're conservative. We have common sense. We want to have safe borders. We want to have a wall because walls work. You know what I used to say about walls? I'd say wheels and walls. Everything changes. The computer that you have in front of you in about a month from now will be totally obsolete. Right now you have the finest equipment in the world, and in about a month from now that equipment will be obsolete. The only two things for centuries that's not obsolete are wheels and walls, right?
pretty good.
No, when you think about it, right? A wheel will always be a wheel. It's never going to change. And a wall will always be a wall.
And it'll work
walls
all the time.
No, walls work. Remember when they were saying walls don't work?
Yeah. And
Remember walls?
But Joe Biden's got a wall at his beach house, by the way.
Yeah, and he does. And by the way, there are a lot of other walls. Nancy Pelosi has a wall also. And if she didn't have a wall, of course, it didn't work that well with respect to the husband. But, you know, generally speaking, it would work.
All right, love that. So first of all, Tucker Carlson as vice president, love Tucker. Tucker is someone with a lot of common sense who is I think, very grounded to reality in many ways, and some of his leadership could be useful to many Americans. But Trump was talking about walls and wheels and things that have had the filter of time applied to them that are still useful and still applicable, generally will still be useful and still be applicable many years down the road. It's called the Lindy Law. Stuff that has been around for a long time and been useful will probably continue to be around and be useful for a long time. Stuff that is new and novel, that is probably just very, very recently introduced, probably is not going to be around that long because of the dynamics of time, because things change very quickly. Trump is articulating that brilliantly as per usual. But we also see some people were not happy about Trump being there. This came out from The Scene. You notice one individual is seated right here. That's Bill Burr. You know him as a famous comedian. And to his left is his wife. And Mrs. Burr is flipping off the former president, which is very rude. Very rude behavior. And you can see that Chris Rock is walking right by him. He's got a beer in hand. And double-fisted FUs to the president. Very nice. Very classy lady as well. So Bill Burr didn't even see that. Of course, wonder what he thinks about that. I wonder if he endorses that message or not, or if that was just a little sneaky sneak or what the deal was. But here's another scene. We see that there was a lot of other happy people to see everybody there at the fight. Is that Kid Rock music in the background? All right, so there's Tucker, and they eventually make their way over to go see Rogan. Big crowd there. Make their way over to the seats. And there's Tucker. Funny. Secret Service. Is that Dan? Is that Dan Bongino? It is Dan. It's Dan Bongino as well. Oh my gosh. So the whole crew is there. What a spicy, spicy night. And guess what? They also met with this guy. I think that's the Nelk Boys guy. He's a big YouTube channel. And then there is the one and only Rogan and Tucker. All right, so there's Rogan, there's Tucker, there's Bongino. What a night, my goodness. So, my friends, spicy night there at Madison Square Garden, UFC. We saw a lot of big names there, and the crowd chanting America, USA. What a fun event that was. So, Tucker as VP? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, we'll continue to cover this and more. Thank you for joining us as we do. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.